So Knights and Titans of the grim dark galaxy of 40k represent two different classes of war machines that differ both in their design, role on the battlefield, and also their lore within the Imperium of Man. Knights are smaller than Titans, typically ranging from 9 to 12 meters in height. They are piloted by a single noble called a Knight Scion and are generally more agile. They are designed for fast-paced, close quarters combat as well as for long-range support. They are classified into various types such as Armiger Knights, Questoris, and Dominus patterns, whereas Titans are colossal war machines that tower over the battlefield. They range from 17 meters for smaller classes like the Warhounds and the Direwolves to over 60 meters and above for the largest Imperator Titans. These Titans are operated by multiple crew members, including a Princeps, who is the commanding pilot, and a Moderati, who is essentially a secondary pilot. They are also termed as god engines, and thus they represent some of the most powerful assets available to the Imperium of Man. So to see whether there are knights that are as big or somehow rivaling the size of a Titan, we first have to tell you about the smallest of the god engines, the Scout Titans. Beginning with the Warhound Scout Titan, which is the smallest class of the Imperial Titans. Even though it is called a Scout, it is anything but weak. When a Titan Legion deploys, Warhounds are usually sent ahead to gather intel and lure enemy war machines towards the bigger ones. They are designed mainly for reconnaissance and terror raids deep behind enemy lines. As the eyes and ears of the Legion, Warhounds usually operate far ahead of the main force, and often in pairs, giving them a better chance to outmaneuver larger Titans they might run into. Then there is the Direwolf Heavy Scout Titan, a variation of the Warhound. It's like the Warhound's tougher, meaner cousin, with thicker armor and a stronger reactor, which allows it to carry heavier weaponry. It is specially designed or designated as a Titan Hunter by the Collegia Titanica. The Direwolf is all about ambush tactics, holding forward positions just to wait for the right moment to take out enemy targets with pinpoint strikes from its heavy weapon layouts. So as for specifications, the Warhound Titan is often armed with a powerful plasma blaster as its main weapon and a Vulcan Mega Bolter as its secondary armament. Either arms can be outfitted with other types of weapons depending on the forge world they originate from, their role and mission requirements. They can have other weapons like the Conversion Beam Dissoluter, the Graviton Destructor, the Incisor Pattern Melter Lance, the Inferno Guns, missile pods with Swarmer or Shudder missiles, and even Plasma Blast Guns. They also have Turbo Laser Destructors and the deadly Ursus Claws. Weighing at a hefty 410 tons, the Warhound Titan stands 14 meters tall when at rest and reaches over 17 meters or 56 feet when fully activated, with a ground clearance of 6.5 meters or over 20 feet. In terms of mobility, it can hit a top speed of 58 km per hour on the road and 42 km per hour off-road. Dimension-wise, it is 12.1 meters or 40 feet long and 11 meters or 36 feet wide, and its armor provides durability needed for its recon and combat roles. So the Direwolves also have similar specifications, but with an added height for its larger gun, which is situated above its head. So now, are there knights that can be considered a rival in size or power to these mighty Scout Titans? Let's begin with the smaller classes of knights that are divided into three main patterns, each with a distinct role and characteristic. These are the Armiger, the Questoris, and the Dominus patterns, which are the most commonly fielded by knight houses. The smallest of the three, the Armiger Knights, stand at around 23 to 26 feet or about 7 to 8 meters tall. Armiger Knights are lighter and faster, making them ideal for reconnaissance and flanking maneuvers. They are more agile than their larger counterparts and typically operate in pairs or small groups to outmaneuver and outflank their larger enemies. Armigers come in various models such as the Helverin, which specializes in long-range support with autocannons. Then there is the Warglaive, which is most suited for close combat with its thermal spear and chainsword, and the Morax, a rarer variant with exotic weaponry like lightning locks and Volkite weapons. But these are just like holy frickin' midgets compared to the Warhounds. So what about the other two then? The most common pattern of the knights, and the one that forms the backbone of most houses, is the Questoris Knight, which stands at about 30 to 33 feet tall, or around 9 to 10 meters, and they are known for their versatility. They can be equipped with a wide variety of weapons and specialized for different roles. Some of the well-known Questoris types include a Knight Paladin, which is a generalist with a rapid-firing battle cannon. The Knight Errant focuses on close quarters with thermal cannons, and a Knight Gallant, which excels in melee combat with a giant chainsword and a Thunder Strike Gauntlet. The Crusader patterns are equipped with long-range firepower, and the Knight Warden mixes firepower with heavy armor. Then we have the Dominus Knight patterns, which are the largest of the smaller classes, standing around 33 to 36 feet tall, or about 10 to 11 meters. The two main Dominus types are the Knight Castellan and the Knight Valiant. The first is essentially a long-range fire support platform, with weapons like the Plasma Decimator and the Volcano Lance to obliterate targets from a long distance. So even these pale in comparison to the Warhounds and the Direwolf, the smallest of the Titans. However, they do have speed on their side, as was seen in the story Blood Oath by Phil Kelly, with them keeping up with the White Scots attack bikes, so these are very fast bikes. Now these were Questoris Knights under High King Tybalt of House Terran, and arguably they would be able to easily outmaneuver larger Titans. Anyway, moving on, there are also two larger Knight patterns that stand above the typical classes in terms of height, power and battlefield roles. These are the Cerastus and the rarer Acastus patterns, which are so formidable that they can rival smaller Titans like the Warhounds and the Direwolf in both size and firepower. The Cerastus Knights are taller than the earlier ones and more specialized than their smaller counterparts. They stand between 40 to 45 feet or 12 to 14 meters tall. These Knights are designed for speed and agility while still packing enough firepower to handle heavy threats. If a Questoris Knight can keep up with a speed bike, imagine this one, which is touted to be at par with the mobility of the Wraith Knight constructs of the Eldar. The Cerastus has four main patterns, which are the Acron, known for its fearsome flame cannon and Reaper chain fist, the Castigator, which is equipped with a rapid-firing bolt cannon and a massive Tempest Warblade. The Lancer is famous for its shock lance and iron gauntlet shield, and the Atropus, which is armed with a Graviton Singularity cannon and a last cutter. So even though the Cerastus is a step above the other three, it still falls short in comparison to the Scout Titans of the Legio Titanica. While it isn't really a squad compared to them, it's still visibly smaller, although the higher estimates for their size equals to the Warhound's resting hunkered down height. And so now we come to the Acastus Knight pattern, which are the rarest and the largest of all Knight patterns, towering well above 50 feet or more than 15 meters in height, as they are stated to be the ones that rival the Scout Titans in size and scale. These war machines blur the line between Knights and Titans due to their size and firepower, earning a reputation for being able to take on even Titans in battle, especially in Better Garment 2. The Knight Porphyrion is a walking artillery piece, armored twin-linked Magna Las cannons and Iron Storm missile pods. Its sheer firepower and advanced targeting systems make it a long-range threat capable of taking down heavily armored targets, including enemy Scout Titans, one-on-one if they get lucky. Then, like its sibling, the Asterius is a heavy-duty platform designed for long-range engagements. It carries powerful conversion beam cannons and twin Volkite culverins. These two types of Acastus Knight patterns are the ones that bridge the gap between Knights and Titans. They are of the same size, and maybe they are even more massive when you consider the even smaller extinct Rapier Scout Titans. So they definitely would be able to take on the Warhounds and the Direwolves, and in a court or a larger formation, they could even take down the Battle Titans like the Reavers, the Komodo, the Executor, the Carnivore, Mirage and Warbringer classes, and maybe even Warlords. So those are the biggest Knight patterns of the Imperium of Man, from the smallest Armiger classes to the most common Questoris to the larger Cerastus and Acastus Knight patterns. And so if you like this video, then watch this other one too. And if you want to browse for other sci-fi and Warhammer content just like this, then do check out our channel. So subscribe and like for support. And yeah, while you're at it, bang on that bell icon for notifications on new video uploads. Till the next time, take care, boys.